singing hallelujah, hallelujah. I'm gonna let this song finish and then I'm gonna share what I'm gonna share. Soul, oh, don't you get shy on me, lift up your song. You got a lion inside of those lungs. Get up and praise the Lord. Oh, come on, my soul, don't you get shy on me, lift up your song. 'Cause you've got a lion inside of those lungs. Get up and praise the Lord. Cause you got a lion inside of. I'm gonna turn the music down because it's wanting to cut me off. I was listening to that song to kind of ground myself before I jumped on, and I wanted to let it finish. The name of the song is Gratitude. It's by Brandon Lake. I've loved that song for a long time. Long time, but I've had it on repeat today. I have not gone live here in a minute. Hi guys. And a lot has been moving in the unseen and behind the scenes. A lot of growth. So much growth, tremendous growth and appreciation for speaking out the truth that I have thus far, but it's time to get quiet. But today, after the events that have unfolded today, Spirit said it's time to speak, and I'm in the middle of it. I am in the middle of a miracle right now, and I'm appreciative of the ability to reframe my perspective and look at it from a different point of view than how I have in the past when seasons of like survival and tragedy would hit, which hit a lot over here. It's been a rough 6 months. If you know me personally, it's been a rough 6 months. I don't know what happened in 2025, but we are topsy-turvy, man. Almost out of it. I'm trusting that this was the last big thing that God was throwing our way in this season, in this moment, and I am claiming with everything in me that it is turning the other way now. But I just wanted to jump on live tonight to share space to witness myself in this, and maybe witness some other people that might be in the middle of your own major hard season, because I know I am not the only one, whether it be your finances or personal or family. I have no idea, but so many people are going through their own hards right now, and I just want to share what it's like being in the middle of the current miracle that I'm sitting in. Just my experience over today, and actually it really lined up with the whole weekend that I didn't see coming at all. So that's kind of what this is going to go into, and I'm hoping not to be too long. I am really trying to rest and keep the peace that I've got. If you've got questions or anything you want to add, please feel free to drop comments. If I don't look at it now, I will later. It's usually what I try to do. So I woke up this morning. Well, we woke up this morning, right? And Justin's getting ready for work. Things are usual, and our finances are a mess. Our finances have been a mess since my business completely collapsed over the summer, and then my health completely collapsed after that. And then we lost my car, and there's a lot that's gone on. And our finances, we were going paycheck to paycheck like most, but we knew that it wasn't sustainable. We knew that we weren't going to be able to maintain it long term. And we were trying to find lots of different things to help us, supports along the way. I started the GoFundMe back in August, and when it never really took off, that was okay. I took it as a sign from God that it wasn't time to push that, and I didn't. God has provided. God has absolutely provided. The twins' birthday, November 20th, I posted about a week and a half before their birthday just asking for help for my kids. And from that one post, not only did my twins have an incredible birthday week, but more support and help has come forward around Christmas presents for my kids, and people just wanting to just adopt my kids for Christmas, which as a mother has just, yes, thank you. But the bills were still stacking up, right? And the immediate needs of everyday adulting and going from a 2-income household to a 1-income household in this you know, nobody can do that right now. Nobody can maintain that, especially not with 4 kids in tow when I was getting child support, and now child support is no longer, their dad is MIA, and Justin's daughter has leukemia, and so that has come with its own financial setbacks at first, and just things that we didn't prepare for. There's a lot of factors in having 5 kids between 2 of us, you know, a lot of factors. And so when we dropped down to just his income, it's been a struggle the last few months, but we are making ends meet, you know. God's been providing, and we have been showing nothing but gratitude, and, you know, just doing the best we can with what we have and with what we're being given in those moments, and just trusting that something bigger is going to work out. I'm going to take a sip of this coffee. So we get up this morning, and he gets ready for work, and I'm homeschooling 3 of my kids, and the other one was staying home today because Mimi showed up randomly in town this weekend, so we got a surprise visit from Mimi, which is God timing. Oh my gosh, was it God timing, right? But all 4 of my kids were home and sleeping in today. And so Justin and I were kind of moving slow, and he gets ready for work, and he looks out the window out of my bedroom, and we see that the car is not there. And he had gotten an email about it, I want to say Thursday of last week. And I know we are not the only people in this situation. People don't like talking about money, and it's something that makes a lot of people uncomfortable. Sorry, I've been so uncomfortable around my finances for like a decade now that it just is what it is. And I'm doing the best I can with what I have, which is not a lot. And it never has been a lot. But like he got the notice Thursday. We were just trying to get to Thursday of this week. He gets paid Thursday of this week. He gets paid every other week. And we were going to catch it up enough that we weren't having an issue. But we've been having to choose what bills we pay and what bills we don't for a hot minute now. And we knew it was going to hit a teetering point. We knew it was going to hit a tipping point. We knew we were getting closer. And last night it hit the head. Like last week it's hit a head. And like I've started looking for employment, work from home jobs, and things are not taking off. I finally taught my first lesson yesterday since September with the one student I do still have. And it was phenomenal. It was amazing. But even that, I'm having to make up lessons that I still owe on. And I am not able to I don't have a studio anymore. I don't have any other students besides this one. And trying to rebuild right now is not an option because of everything else. Cognitively, physically, it took me 2 years to build that business into what it was before it fell. And that's not the end of the music, Mom. It's not. And I know it's not. And that is also a journey and a path that I'm on right now too. But it's all just kind of intertwined and interwoven. And so we get up this morning, and he's literally about to walk out the door, and there is no car there. And like, we just had to get to Thursday. We just had to get, maybe even Wednesday. We just went, like we were so close. But this is the first week that the gap really hit. And there was no bouncing back. There was nowhere we could pull money from. I don't like asking people or asking to borrow money. I really, really don't. I have a lot of unhealthy money habits because of what I was shown a lot and portrayed a lot by my dad. Just being honest there. And it's something it's hard to unlearn when you actively don't have money. You know, I was a stay-at-home mom in my marriage, you know, with my ex-husband, Joe. He made the money and I paid the bills. That was the arrangement we had. He went through 4 years of plumbing school and never took the test to become a licensed plumber. So we stayed very low income for having 4 kids. Even though he was a plumber, he never took the test. He never followed through with his end. He got fired a lot. And so it left me in a lot of spaces of scrambling and trying to figure out how to get the bills paid, because that was my part of the bargain. And so I would go borrow money. I would go do this, do that. We racked up a ton of credit card debt, having babies in this whole time frame because no one taught me how my body worked and all the things, right? But now sitting here as a single mom in the mindset that Joe is gone. I am not single in the fact that I don't have support. Justin, I need to say this very clearly right now. He is a phenomenal support to the kids, to me, but there is still a lot of single mom aspect energy in the house because he's only been around about 2 years now. The kids are still establishing their relationship with him, and they just lost their dad who has disappeared. You know, there's a lot of factors in that, you know. So we are building this family unit together actively right now and have been the 2 years we've known each other. But it's kind of hit a whole different kind of level since Joe has left the picture in August, right? He just walked out. Amidst everything else going on, just disappeared. Which, by the way, if you're one of his relatives, please let him know I'm looking for him. Thanks. So with that all being said, it's just left our finances kind of crazy, and not knowing how to get out of these unhealthy habits, but also it's survival now, and we're just paycheck to paycheck and trying to make ends meet. So I don't like asking people for money. I don't like asking for help in that way, because I like knowing I can stand on my own 2 feet. But in a lot of ways, I can't yet. I cannot yet. One of the things that I was offered today was just give yourself more grace. And so I'm going to do that. I am not able to stand on my own 2 feet yet. We are not able to yet, because I know we are working towards this and we will get there. But it is a hard season. It is a hard season. So I got up, and I'll be honest, I've been doing a lot of nervous system work on myself, deep work, a lot of trauma releasing. It's why I have not been posting on Facebook a lot. It's why I've been kind of MIA in these last couple of weeks. Once my body got the truth out that it needed to about my dad and the other missionary, Billy Sampson, that I referenced. Once the truth of those things started coming off of my body and the weight of that, I got very internal, and it's been very home-based and very home-focused. My home is organized and cleaned in a way that I haven't had it in a long time. The cobwebs in my brain aren't there anymore in ways that I didn't know they could ever disappear. And I'm finding peace and softness in my body that I didn't know existed, because my life has been hard since the second I entered it. And it hasn't been without love. There's been tons of love all over the place. It is why I am still here to tell the story. But I have had mostly hard presented to me. And while I am not a hard person, I have had to stay armored and shielded, right? But this morning, when crisis hit, and normally I would go in a major spiral and freak out first, not because I want to stay there, but because that is the automatic response in my body. That is what complex PTSD does to the body, especially when you're autistic and you don't know it, and your nervous system is already jacked because of that. So like adding that extra layer, I don't deal with anxiety like hyperventilating anymore. I don't have panic attacks like that. Panic attacks for me, I'm like in my brain going, dude, what are we doing? And my body is just losing its mind, because there has been a very real brain body disconnect. Like seriously, like from here up, just disconnected up until this year. But it's why I have stayed in this loop of spiraling mentally and then physically, because the connection never happened again. And it was all rooted in my nervous system. All of it wound up in my nervous system and the trauma that my body has still been holding. And so this morning, this crisis hits. But for the first time, and I mean, in a crisis, I will say I've had growth. I've had moments where my body has chosen not to panic. But it's been varying degrees of like intensity, right? This one was a big level of intensity. I just lost my car like a month ago by no means of my own and no fault of my own. And now my partner has lost his car, the only vehicle we have left. Like, major reason for panic, right? Like, ooh. But that's not what my body chose first this morning. For the first time, I think, ever in my life, especially when it came down to the safety of my children. And this is a big root safety problem, right? Finances is a big root safety problem. Especially in the single mom journey that I have walked this last 5 years. Yeah, it is terrifying. It is absolutely terrifying. When I stepped away from working for the schools, I was training to become a manager for like the schools for Greenville County and the cafeterias. I was probably a year or two away from having my own school and a salary job where I was getting paid year round and could have summers off. My body couldn't maintain it. I started dropping and having episodes on the job, and I didn't know what was going on. And at that point, I was teaching piano part-time. And so I knew and I hadn't met Justin. No, I had met Justin at that point. So I knew I had enough support to bridge the gap for me to build my business to what it became over the last year specifically. All trusting as a single mom. That's where it's had to root from. But this morning, the panic didn't take over. This morning, I stayed in my body. Even when it wasn't fun. Really, really not fun. Even when my partner was breaking down. And I knew it was time to go back to the GoFundMe that I had started back in August that never took off. Something in me was like, it's time to update it. It's time. You need help. You guys don't have any money to move with until at least Thursday. You need help. And way bigger than just a couple $100s. This is, and it's way bigger than just his car. This is bigger than all of it. Like the way God has shown up through you guys today. Not even because of finances. This isn't even about the money. The messages that I've gotten, the phone calls that I had after I stepped out of my comfort zone and said, you know what, I'm going to get real and ask for help again. And just be honest, because I know we're not the only people that have gone through situations like this or that are struggling with their finances right now. It's just, it is what it is. And we are doing the best we can to get out of this situation. It's not like I'm not trying. It's not like I'm not trying to do what's best for my kids every single day, you know? And we both know that. And we both know that it's going to come back, and it's still going to come back. It's still going to come back. But within about an hour of me making that Facebook post this morning and just opening up, and we had allowed ourselves to feel the feelings and have the big emotions in those moments, but we both chose to go through it together. We chose to relax throughout the day, but stay present in the relaxing and trying to figure this out and not just check out and disassociate, because that's normally what you would want to do as a trauma survivor. And a lot of people don't realize they do it, but they want to check out, they want to scroll their phones, they want to zone out because life is too heavy to carry. But that's not healthy when you're trying to get out of it, right? And Justin and I knew that that was something we didn't want to do today. And so we chose not to, even though it was really, really hard. And it's still really, really heavy. And we are still in it. There were 2 different phone calls I had back to back with people offering just logistical support and advice. And then amidst that was an offer of, hey, you should really, you offer so many other people and situations grace, but I never hear you speak that way for yourself. And in that moment, it was God just being like in my back brain, hey, this is something you can stand in. Give yourself grace. You're doing the best you can. And like, I don't know. It's given me a whole new picture of like how I need to move forward and some clarity and some action steps that I can take to hopefully get us some funding and maybe some grant help right off the bat right now. I mean, it'll take a minute to get into place. I finally got my Social Security card in the mail last week, so I can finally go forward with filing for disability, because my health really is not good enough for me to maintain a job. But all of these things collapsed at once, and the finances went with it entirely. But today, I was able to live out. Sorry, this is me verbal processing too. You guys have heard me quote over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, for God hath not given me a spirit of fear. Oh, this is going to make me cry. But of power and of love and of a sound mind. But I have spoken that verse over and over and over again as like an affirmation, claiming it because it's not something my body had and was able to just do, right? So it's something that I'm claiming because I will have this. I will have this because my Bible tells me it's supposed to be mine. And I'm going to keep claiming my healing, and I'm going to keep facing my trauma, and I'm going to keep speaking my truth no matter what ruffles it, for whatever feathers it ruffles, no matter who it messes up or who it upsets. I know I am doing it from the goodness of my heart and trying to help people and just speaking who God told me to be. But today I got to live out in the moment. Instead of having to quote that verse as an affirmation and as something I have to claim because it's not existing, I got to walk. I mean, I'm getting, because it's not over. This is nowhere near over. But like, I'm getting to walk through this miracle and live out, for God hath not given me a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. I'm not just saying it to claim it anymore. I'm getting to live it out. And in turn, I am watching my prayers get answered in ways I didn't even know we could expect. But it's because all of my prayers have always been rooted in not feeling like I deserved it. And like I had to work harder to get it. I had to work harder to get God's attention. I had to do better. No. That wasn't it. And like the fact that he and I both got on board with this today, and we were able to feel safe enough in our bodies, even though it was like, it still is absolutely insane. And we have no vehicle now at all. We're having to let the car go.
Thank you, Jen and Jer, by the way.
My cousin sent us specifically Uber gift cards, so he's got ways to get to work. And the people that have donated via the GoFundMe, honestly, in this moment, it's getting me out of the negative, because I've been in the negative a couple $100 for almost a week now, because bills had to get paid, and it just came out automatically. And I'm like, you know what? At least it got paid. Power didn't get shut off. But I've almost gotten enough in today on the GoFundMe to get me out of the negative. And honestly, at this point, since we're having to let the car go, it's giving breathing room in the muffin. Go lay down. Go. I love you, sweetheart. And I know there's a lot going on. Go lay down. Go. Go home. Thank you. I have no answers, but I know in this moment we're okay. One of my good friends texted me and she said, I saw your post. I can't offer financial support, but can I offer some groceries? And with that came some incredible soul connection and conversation, because our lives have just been so busy. We haven't gotten to see each other, right? And I got to stand outside for a half hour and talk to her and catch up. And I wouldn't have had I not reached out for the support. I have a good fire lit under me to go back to school again. Not right now. But I love learning. I loved going to school. And I loved the idea of having a future like that. But then I had 4 babies in less than 3 years. When I should have been going to college for the first time is when that started. And that path changed for me. But because of conversations I had over the weekend with my mom and then other people today, it was just like God was like confirmation of, no, this is what we're supposed to be doing in your future, not right now. But something that never would have crossed my table had this weekend not happened. And like this weekend, my mother just showed up out of nowhere for her own, like, because this is like, and that's not something I'm going to go into. I'm going to leave that there because that is very personal. And that's this whole thing with my family right now. But like, that was God in motion. That was God in motion because he knew it was coming. And I got to sit in church yesterday at my church with my mom. And Pastor Jennifer stood up there talking. She spoke out of Matthew, I think it was chapter 11, verses 1 through 6 is what she read. And she was speaking about when John the Baptist was imprisoned. And he sends his disciples to Jesus to just, and the question is asked. Oh, my Bible's not sitting here. So please, I'm paraphrasing. And my Bible's not near me right now because I had it at church yesterday. And Pastor Jennifer, if you see this, I'm so sorry if I misquote it. But John the Baptist is sitting in prison and he's just he sends his disciples to Jesus to basically ask, are you really the one we've been waiting for? And Jesus' response to these disciples is to go back and tell him of all of the miracles that are being performed, and all of the deaf that are being able to hear again, and the blind that are being able to see, and the lame that are walking, which, by the way, I haven't used a cane in almost 2 months since beginning to speak my truth and get this stuff out and continue to heal my body. My legs are finally working again. It's transferred to complete pain in my body, very much like fibromyalgia. But it's coming out, and I'm going to continue claiming that my body is not always going to be in this space, and I know it's not. I know it's not, and it is in my nervous system, and it's coming out, and I'm feeling safer in my body by the day. But it is changing the world around me in the active moment in a way that I can't even describe, guys. And Pastor's sermon yesterday was so much about looking for the nuances, because that's what Jesus was basically telling John the Baptist. Was telling him, his cousin, they were relatives, okay? That wasn't just some distant relationship. They were relatives. And he didn't say, go tell him, why aren't you trusting? Why aren't you just believing? Why aren't you believing more? Where is your faith? Jesus didn't say any of that. And if you read forward, I think it is to verse 11, Jesus speaks to John the Baptist directly and calls him basically beautiful for having a human experience and asking the question even when he doesn't know the answer. And he is just terrified. Sometimes if you give a voice to those things that we were taught to pray away, it actually helps them move through your system in a way that allows God to help you, because the fear is not blocking that allowance anymore. The fear is not so bigger than the belief that God can help you, Where you put that energy is where it's going to come back. If you're praying out of disparity, that's how I've been praying, for complete disparity. I wrote a couple things down because I didn't want to be super all over the place, but I'm sure you guys can even tell in how I'm talking right now. I am so much more grounded than I was a month ago, than I was 3 weeks ago. And it has been a rough 3 weeks. It's part of the reason I've been so quiet. My body has not been great. I had a panic attack, hyperventilating kind of panic attack for the first time last Wednesday. And I haven't had one of those in a year, since my dad was hospitalized last year for his heart stuff. I don't deal with that kind of anxiety, but my body was just nah, man, it's got to come out. And Instead of fighting it, instead of freaking out, instead of trying to shut it down like I normally would have, or trying to power through and just make it go away because I'm frustrated. This is still my body's response and that I can't just not do this anymore. Instead of those responses, I leaned into the chaos and I leaned into what my body was doing. But I watched it transform into a whole different thing. And that was last Wednesday. Like a couple days ago. I had no clue that my mom was going to show up in town a couple days later. I had no clue that what pastor's sermon was going to be yesterday. Very much aligning with a lot of the things I'm living out today. This live, I guess, is partially for myself because you guys have witnessed me in a lot of hard, but there's a lot of good that's come from this and that actively has come through this over the years. I just haven't been regulated enough to talk about it because storm after storm after storm after storm has kept hitting. But every single time, my God has shown me he's bigger than the storms. And I want to encourage every single person that ends up watching this video that if you don't know if it's safe to speak and to ask for help, or if you deserve the help, you do. Just ask. Step out of your comfort zone. You guys have watched me. None of this has been perfect by any means. Good Lord, I am so messy, it's not even funny. But God didn't ask me to be perfect. He asked me to be me. Praise you again and again. Tonight, after all of this craziness, and because my mom was in town, my oldest daughter ended up staying home from school today. So we were all, like I said, mentioned at the beginning of the video, so we were all home. My kids have stayed so regulated through the day today amidst all of this craziness. My home has stayed clean. And it smells good. My dishes are done. And I didn't have to ask somebody else to do them this time. I got to do it myself. Because I could stand on my own 2 feet to do it. And I couldn't do that 3 months ago. I couldn't do that 2 months ago. And I have nothing but gratitude. And that's where these tears are coming from. And not because I'm out of it. We are not out of it. But I have found if you look for the tiny nuances, you'll find yourself standing in the middle of a parted sea. And you won't even know how you got there. But you won't have to ask how to get there anymore. You'll just be like, oh my gosh, I got here because I trusted. And the trust was bigger than the fear this time. For God hath not given me a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. And now I'm just overwhelmed that I've realized in this live that I got to live that out in this moment today. Tonight, amidst all the craziness, my children's bodies are even confirming to me in their own biological ways that they feel safe and supported and loved. Amidst their father disappearing, amidst grandpa going kind of off the rails, and the other grandparents supporting their dad going MIA, my kids are okay, and we're going to sleep okay. And I have no answers, and for the first time in my life, I think I'm okay with not having them. Like, actually okay not having them. Your journey may not look like mine, and what does not resonate that I say, please just take what does resonate, leave the rest. Really. But I just needed to share the miracle that I'm walking through, that we're walking through. I've walked through a lot of them before, but I couldn't talk about it at the time. Because I was actually walking through traumas. That could be one perspective here. This could be another trauma that we're walking through. We just didn't make it 2 more days to the next paycheck to be able to catch that up. But that's not what happened today. I'm going to post in the comments once I jump off here the link to the GoFundMe. If you aren't seeing this and you aren't able to financially support, this is so much bigger than the financial support. Please, please know that there is nothing but gratitude in my heart. The need is absolutely still there, but that is not what this video is for. This video is not me asking for help. But also, I would be remiss to not also say we still need the help. So I'm going to drop that link in the comments. If you don't have it to support, please just hit the share button. you never know who's able to give and whose story might relate to mine. And I've had strangers reach out to me today in that kind of way. People that I never would have known were watching support me today. Because that's how big the ripple is, guys. So that's why I ask you to share it. Not at all for the finances, although that is the need, but it's bigger than that. We're trusting at this point that God will provide a vehicle. Because both of our credits are shot and we're not in a space to go finance one. So we're going to have to either go wait until we have enough money saved up to get a beater. I don't know. But we're trusting. I also was asked in that post earlier about a Christmas wish list. And I had a lot of people adopt the kids specifically about what their Santa wants were and what their actual kid toys, wants, and needs were. And so those needs have been more than abundantly met in a way that I'm so excited for on Christmas morning for my children. And I don't even know what most of the stuff is coming. But this is the first year that I've been able to actually kind of specify what they wanted and needed. And it wasn't just random things. Although there was gratefulness then too. This is a whole different kind of a level. My kids are going to be so excited this year. And it's coming from people that just all over, right? But with that, I put together a Christmas wish list with things that would help the house run smoother, some homeschool things, some crafting things, some fun things, some sensory things for myself. So I really could use a good set of noise canceling headphones. I used my pairs with the kids because the two of them really needed them as well, and I requested those two get a set for Christmas. So I believe they'll have their own sets coming in, but I don't have a set anymore, and I really could use a set of noise-canceling headphones that could play music too. Because it's a lot being home with the kids all the time, especially not having a vehicle now to get out with. And also there was like basically a weighted blanket that I could wear and walk around with. But a lot of other things are just functional things that would make the house run smoother, especially because now this is going to be another pretty big credit hit, and we're going to be that much further from being able to maintain buying a house or purchasing normally. But I'm still claiming that we are not far from that, and I don't know how, but it won't be traditional. But I am claiming that we will not be in this apartment much longer, and I don't know how that will go. But I don't know what that will look like. But I'm done asking. I'm just gonna trust and share. When Jerry says share, when Spirit says share, I think that's all I'm gonna say. If you've jumped on, thank you for jumping on and sitting with me. If you see this and you wouldn't mind dropping a comment just to bump it so other people can see it, I would really appreciate it. But again, this is just for the sake of encouraging others. That is the whole point of this video right now, because you guys have encouraged the mess out of me today and my family. And you've allowed me to walk through this as it being a miracle and not just another traumatic situation. And that is something that I cannot express enough gratitude for. I didn't know what I was building here over the last 5 years, and it's been weird and it's been quiet, and my posts are always random and crazy and nuts sometimes. And my followers and likes and everything, all that has always ebbed and flowed, but I've never used this platform for that reason. Subconsciously it was kind of for that reason, but it really was just because I needed to heal and I needed to be seen. And you guys have afforded me that, but even more than that. So thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. And if you're in it, know you're not in it alone. Know my inbox is open if you need to vent about money or any other issue going on. I have a lot of stuff going on right now. A lot of legal things, a lot of different avenues that are currently going and pulsing right now. That is why this GoFundMe is so much bigger than even just my bills, and our bills we're really behind on. I'm trusting that my employment is going to work out. I'm really considering moving into offering some virtual lessons to a handful of safe people. So if you are someone that has been looking for creative feedback and you know me, or you would like to, get some piano lessons here and there, I'm opening that up virtually for January. So we could talk about that, and that would help me kind of in the moment and also give you something to look forward to in January, because I am confident that I could teach I can teach technical stuff. I'm just not in a space to do all the things that I was doing in my business prior. But I do have a skill set, and I'm good at what I do. So if you or someone you know could use or benefit from a virtual piano lesson, another grown-up or an older child, let me know. We could feel it out, see how it works. But I'm open to offering those lessons virtually. And yeah, I'm going to leave that here. I'll post the Amazon wish list in the comments as well as that GoFundMe, and I will leave that where it is and trust that Spirit is going to continue taking it where it's supposed to go. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for loving me and my kids and my family, and I look forward to the next time I jump on with another update. I have no clue when that will be. So, have a good night, guys. Ooh. I clicked something. Oh, there's the button. Okay, my eyes are blurry. All right, bye, guys.